وعكا نحن إلى يافا، في غزة نحن وقلب جنين. الواحد منا يزهر آلافا، لن تذبل فينا ورقة تين. ما هان الحق عليك ولا خافا، عودتنا إيمان ويقين. لن نسكت لن نستسلم، لا 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 لا, لا نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو راح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. لن نسكت لن نستسلم، لا 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 لا, لا نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو راح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. فلسطين بلادي فلسطين بلادي. كي تشرق شمسك فوق أمانينا، وينام صغارك مبتسمين، ونراك بخير حين تنادينا لعمار بيوت وبساتين. سنعيدك وطنا رغم مآسينا، أحرارا نشدو متحدين. لن نسكت لن نستسلم، لا 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 نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو راح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. راح نبقى فيك يا فلسطين. لن نستسلم، لا 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 نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو راح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. فلسطين بلادي لن نستسلم، لا 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 نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو راح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. فلسطين بلادي.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. As I kept walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, no trespassing. And on the other side, it didn't say nothing. This land was made for you and me. In the shadow of a steeple, I saw my people.
Well, maybe I should do it, because I'm also going to give some context to how we know
I seen my
or
people
how, you know.
as they stood there hungry. I stood there asking,
No.
is this land made for you and me? Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can
You don't want to do
turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land.
maybe you should.
This land is my land.
But I'll do that.
From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Susan Caldwell, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here. In this church, we are united not by a defined creed, but by a covenant for the way that we will be together in community, the way that we will learn from each other, from our differences and our commonalities, and the way we will work together for a better world. And you're going to hear some more about that from our speaker today. We're honored and happy to have Cathy Chapman-Hackett today as our guest speaker. And Taha Hyatt, who is responsible for bringing her here, is going to introduce her more thoroughly before she speaks. But we did want to express our gratitude and thank you so much for being here and speaking to us. Whatever your age, your race, your nationality, your political affiliation, your sexual orientation, your gender identity, whatever makes up the wonderful tangle of stuff that is you, is if you care to worship with us and if you align with the values of Unitarian Universalism, then you are welcome here. And we thank you for being here. I believe our board president, Susan Yellett, has something that she'd like to share with you. North Louisiana Interfaith.
For July?
No,
July.
no, it's the film festival.
The film festival, I
Out
thought.
North Louisiana.
Okay, yeah.
I knew that.
My brain is not awake. So our giveaway the plate is a North Out Interfaith. I'm not. Hello. Out North Louisiana Film Fest. Thank you. And our volunteer of the month is Ann Andrews. Is she? Is she here today? She's just jumped right in with everything we do, and we're just so excited to have her. And she has a special parking place right next to Susan Caldwell, so she can, the coveted volunteer of the month parking place. If you work really hard, you can maybe get the coveted chili chalice, but I don't know about that because this one is pretty. No, that one belongs to her. So what else? What other? This past Thursday, we had our Highland Blessing dinner thing, and there were like 8 of us there. So that made me feel really good to see All Souls out and representing itself. As you know, we have been working really hard toward finding a new home for All Souls, and our closing for this building is going to be on the 22nd of this month. So we have 2 more meetings in this building, and then we're going to be at the Highland Center in the conference room. But so as part of being fully transparent with the congregation and let you know where we're at right now, we've been looking at some places, and here's what I've got to tell you so far. And this is a work in progress. Okay. So, and this is going to be emailed to everyone. Dear friends, we stand on the threshold of an exciting new chapter in the 76-year-long story of All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church of Shreveport. We are often reminded that our church is not simply a physical structure, but a loving group of human family members joined together, searching for truth and upholding our values of beloved community. However, families need homes, and over time, they typically move from one home to another as their needs change. Over the past 2 years, over 2 years ago, our congregation decided for various reasons that we needed to find a new building to house our church family. This decision was not taken lightly, but it came about with much forethought. Our first step toward the goal was to sell the building we are currently using at 9449 Ellerby Road. And this step will be completed on the 22nd of July. And so if you want to come help move all this stuff, we've got to put it in storage. In the beginning, we tentatively surveyed the quickly changing market, but it's gotten much more focused and intense these past few months as we knew a sale on the Ellerby Road property was forthcoming, and we would be in a situation where we could act. Some options include building another structure, renting a structure, sharing space with another religious institution, buying an already existing building, etc. We've been polling our membership, and we've gotten some responses. We've considered our dedication to the 8 principles, specifically our reverence for the interdependent web of life and where our congregation can be strategically located to provide service, as this is our prayer. One of the options considered was finding an already existing building. We, with the help of our realtor, Tina Hines, have scoured the market diligently, taking into consideration all the suggestions that we have received from our membership, and contemplating what our needs are, including size, location, price, aesthetics, future growth, etc. And we want to fulfill our obligation to you and try to find a location that is a good fit for this community. Taking your suggestions into consideration, we have located a building that appears to be very promising. It is at 641 Olive Street, not too far from the Highland Center, like literally 2 blocks, an institution that we partner with very often. It's accessible to public transit. It's in a central location. It has parking spaces. There's like a half-acre room to grow green space area with trees. The building is smaller than what we were originally looking for, and it will need to be remodeled because it is not currently set up as a church. It is a business. We are hopeful that in the construction style and low asking price, This will give us more flexibility in the renovation. As the board, we were very proactive, and we elected to put in a contingent bid on this property to take it off the market for 45 days. The word is contingent. This will give all stakeholders the opportunity to tour the building and attend a presentation with an architect who has some very innovative ideas for the structure. The bid is $285,000. Take in mind that we're going to be getting $1.6 million for this building. Please understand that this bid will only hold off the property, and a transaction will not occur without the culmination of the sale of the Ellerby Road property, as well as a positive approval vote from you all, our congregation. So, with all this in mind, we look forward to positive discussions and collaboration. Please plan to participate in a special congregational meeting on August the 2nd, where we will vote whether or not to go forward with this building. The meeting will be held at the large convention room at the Highland Center, 520 Olive Street, directly following the church service. And I send this to you on behalf of our board of directors, with much respect and love for you guys. Susan Geller, board president, All Souls Church. So this will be printed up and given in the email for everyone to review. And that's where we're at right now. We're moving forward, and we're going to see what goes on. So, and yeah, if you want to ask me anything later after the service, you can.
Thank you. Big stuff. And also, if you are visiting us for the first time and you're looking and saying, why? Why are they leaving this? We can tell you some stories. Anyway, it's going to be a good move for us. After the chime, we will sing together, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. The words will be on the screen. But first, we're going to take a nice deep breath, and we're going to listen to the chime until we can't hear it anymore. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Y'all are going to have to give me a second here. Playing with explosives, it's part of the job. In the light of as our call to worship this morning, we have words from the Palestinian poet Mossab Abu Toha, but first from Carter Smith. Let us take a minute to ground into this space, to feel all that is stirring in our hearts. These are disturbing days to live through. Whether we feel distant or close to those in the throes of war, we feel tugs of anguish from where we sit in the interconnected web of all life. May we mourn alongside all of those who do not have the space and the safety to properly grieve their beloved dead. May we mourn the loss of each child, knowing that every child in this world is one of our own. O great abiding Spirit, name beyond all names, love beyond all love, may you guide every one of us. Help us to feel our humanity in this time. Help us to be clear about the work that is ours to do. Help us understand that we do not have to have all the answers, nor can we even try to. May we in all of our living move with a spirit of peace, so that we may be an agent of peace for all who encounter us. And from Mossab Abu Toha, don't ever be surprised to see a rose shoulder up among the ruins of the house. This is how we survived. May I have some help with the first chalice lighting? Thank you, Jackson and Elizabeth and Ava. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other. Oh, and the candle went out. Of course it did. Well, yeah, I guess so. Go for it. It's one of those days. Thank you. In an age where words are easy to generate and harder to mean, we pause to light this flame, not to perfect our message, but to offer something true. We light this chalice for the quiet courage it takes to speak plainly of what moves us, for the voices inside us that say, I have measured out my life with coffee spoons, but you have shown up all the same. Hopeful, haunted, human, for every trembling invitation, every imperfect email that carries a piece of someone's heart, we give thanks. May this light remind us connection begins not with the flawless gesture, but with the honest one, and even the smallest act of bravery can be the start of a shared path. Will you rise in body or spirit and join me in the unison affirmation? The words will be on the screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Bless you. Our first hymn will be Come and Go With Me to That Land, and I'll ask Bob Jordan and Sally Wood to come and help us lead it.
try to stand this time. Make sure I don't drop, don't put it back where it was.
Okay.
Please.
Whatever you
Uh-oh.
Did everybody pick up one of these on the way in? I'm not sure if they were quite enough. If you're using the QR code, there's a link to it in that order of service. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and this version is the child-friendly version. If anybody would like to have some, I might ask somebody to help to run and get, oh, look, a couple people on the way. So just raise your hand if you didn't get one and would like to have it. And those of you who are looking at it, first of all, do you happen to know, has the United States signed this declaration? It has not. It has not. Well, the only one as big and as, as we are, has, yeah. So as you look at the page, and the front The front is kind of a shortcut to all of the different rights that a child is supposed to have. And if you want to read them in more detail, it's inside. There's actually 54 provisions. We will not go through all 54, I promise. But I just wonder if, as you look at this, there's something that maybe stands out for you that should be the right of a child anywhere in this world. I mean, I can think right away of something from this country. Children should not be separated from their parents unless they are not being properly looked after. For example, if a parent hurts or does not take care of a child. Children whose parents don't live together should stay in contact with both parents unless this might harm the child. But the first part of that, children should not be separated from their parents. Hello? I'm sorry? Or parents that are incarcerated as adults, yeah. 34, let's see what we've got here. The government should protect children from sexual exploitation, being taken advantage of, and protect them from sexual abuse. Yeah, again, we know some very prominent people that's been a problem. What else? Kids see anything that sticks out for you? Number two. All children have these rights, no matter who they are, where they live, what language they speak, what their religion is, what they think, what they look like, if they are a boy or a girl or otherwise, if they have a disability, if they are rich or poor, and no matter who their parents or families are, or what their parents or families believe or do. No child should be treated unfairly for any reason. I mean, that's pretty big, isn't it? Number 12. Children have the right to give their opinions freely on issues that affect them. Do we do okay with that in this church? I want to hear from those most affected. We certainly try to. We have tried to listen. When the UUA was thinking about reevaluating the principles, which they ultimately did, and we have the shared values now, every age level had input into that. Every age level talked about whether that should be. Yeah, Jackson? 3? When adults make decisions, they should think about how their decisions will affect children. All adults should do what is best for children. Government should make sure children are protected and looked after by their parents or by other people when this is needed. Government should make sure that people and places responsible for looking after children are doing a good job. Yep, that's a good one. 48. Oh wait, not 48. What was it again? 28. Every child has the right to an education. Right now, there are 650,000 children in Gaza who don't have access to education. 11. Governments must stop children being taken out of the country when this is against the law. For example, being kidnapped by someone or held abroad by a parent when the other parent does not agree. 13? Oh, 30, okay. Children have the right to use their own language, culture, and religion, even if these are not shared by most people in the country where they live. That is really important. And how often have we heard lately of people wanting to impose one religion in the public schools, right? What did you say? 17? 17, children have the right to get information from the internet, radio, television, newspapers, books, and other sources. Adults should make sure the information they are getting is not harmful. Government should encourage the media to share information from lots of different sources in languages that all children can understand. And here you're going to see differences of interpretation, but sometimes those differences can be downright dangerous. Like if children are denied, if something about anatomy denies somebody information about breast cancer, you know, or if they're denied information about their sexual identity that may be to them in their life, that can be downright dangerous. That in itself can be harmful. 37. Children, this is important. Children who are accused of breaking the law should not be killed, tortured, treated cruelly, put in prison forever, or put in prison with adults. Prison should always be the last choice and only for the shortest possible time. In Louisiana, I think they look at the 4th grade as they're planning for prisons, which is terrible. You know, it's terrible. 3rd grade, Cathy? 3rd grade. That's insane. And they're building a juvenile jail in Vernon Parish. Yeah, prison should always be the last choice and only for the shortest possible time. And we were at the legislature a couple of years ago and heard from a young man who, as a juvenile, had been put in solitary confinement. That's just, it's unacceptable. So we'll take one more. I wanted you to be aware of this. Maybe, Kevin, it's up to y'all, but you may want to take this with you and look at it some more and talk about it today. And anyway, 24. Children have the right to the best health care possible. What's just been cut in our state? The right to clean water to drink, healthy food, and a clean and safe environment to live in. All adults and children should have information about how to stay safe and healthy. It's a good one to end on. Let's send the children and youth to their class. And thank y'all. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. We're going to sing Spirit of Life. Our spoken meditation this morning comes from the Palestinian poet Nasser Rabbah. with thanks to Taha for recommending this. The gifts I didn't send you on War's birthday. The poems waved to me as I closed the book like it was dying of gangrene. The bridges between my mouth and what I would say about anything shut down. The barracks next to the tall fence of my life. The time spent with old neighbors before they were scattered by the shell of absence. My dreams walking along with their old cane to a sea that couldn't care less. Last pill in the cabinet of hope. The beads in my rosary are endless, and I am delirious. Gaza, Gaza. Like flags of a country that defeated itself, from the heart to the heart, they came back staring into the void, looking for old addresses in the salty mail. As for the songs embroidered on the dress of sand, the heart flows like a river of purified regret, whirling like a sunflower, like a name dead to the lover, inventing doves. Back to the heart, they came back, stripped of their longing, nervous about how to open the suitcase of absence and let the snakes pour out. I am delirious. Gaza, Gaza. We will have a time of silence, and at the end of the silence during the music, if you would like, you may come forward and light a candle for a joy or sorrow or other concern.
where the dust clouds rise, a story of a people reflected in their eyes, broken homes and scattered dreams, a world of black and white, but a flicker of a spirit burns ever so bright, through the bitter taste of sorrow and the chill of winter's night, a melody of laughter, a beacon in the fight. and shining star. Cathy tells a story of a culture strong and proud, a tapestry of resilience woven for the crowd. The world may turn a blind eye to the writing on the wall, but the spirit of a people will answer freedom's call. Oh, the Palestine smile, a flower in the sand, a defiant bloom of hope in a wounded, weary land. It's the strength in a mother's gaze, the courage in a child, a testament of spirit that cannot be defiled. Though the tears may fall like rain and the heart may bear the scar, the Palestine smile remains a bright and shining star. Yes, the Palestine smile remains a promise in the sunrise after the longest night. The Palestine smile.
I'd like to invite Taha Hyatt, who is the leader of our chapter of Unitarian Universalists for Justice in the Middle East, to come and introduce our speaker.
Thank you. Please excuse me, I am a little bit congested. Also, I just barely made it today. I flew in at 3 a.m., so yeah. Also, please remember that after the service, our speaker will be available in the lobby for like coffee and questions if anybody just wants to chat. So we're delighted to have Cathy Chapman-Hackett as our guest in the pulpit this morning. I had the privilege of knowing Cathy through UUJME, through the national calls that we would do with the different chapter leaders, and we began corresponding through that because we both had very similar situations, and also like I feel like culturally Shreveport and Dallas are very similar compared to other Unitarian churches. So we began corresponding and like giving each other advice and stuff on like activism. And at the General Assembly last year, we saw each other in person, and that was where we had the panel about the Apartheid-Free Pledge, which Cathy has really been championing in Dallas, and All Souls is actually the first UU church to sign on to the pledge. So, yeah. So Cathy moved to Texas in 2021 and became a member of First Unitarian Church of Dallas. She established their UUJME chapter, Unitarian Universalists for Justice in the Middle East, and held monthly meetings with movies and speakers. She worked with Dana Ashrawi, the national president of UUJME, on building an apartheid-free community. Cathy retired from a position at Southeastern International Union Local 1000 from a statewide position as vice president, secretary, and treasurer. She held various positions in the union, including bargaining chair, and served as a stewardess at the worksite. She is also on the board of the Dallas Peace and Justice Center and a member of People for Justice in Palestine, a group that puts on a film festival every January and a Nakba remembrance in May. So now, with my pleasure, I'm going to introduce Cathy to come and give her sermon.
Well, first I want to say thank you for inviting me, and I'm glad to be here. I want to explain kind of how I started getting involved with Palestinian rights. I was like many of you who didn't really know that much about the history of Palestine and the Middle East. My background as a union officer and organizer in California SEIU 1000 helped me to develop my political views. The union is what educated me, not my formal education, and that changed my views. I read different books, watched different movies, and heard different speakers on issues that I did not learn in my 18-plus years of education. I listened to corporate media, and I saw the lack of real history in my education. I know many of you of my era had similar experiences, probably if you were activists in the fight against the Vietnam War, the feminist movement, and the civil rights movement. Now, after I retired from the state service job and union officer responsibilities, I was asked to sit on this coordinating committee in Sacramento. And I learned there from lifelong peace activists and Palestinian activists a lot more. And I started to think about what's UU's position on Palestine. I was a member of UU in Sacramento, and I found there was a national organization which just got mentioned. It was UU, Justice in the Middle East. And I had contacted this organization to see if I could, do something in Sacramento. I moved to Texas right after that, but I started a chapter in UUJME in Sacramento and began my education on the occupation of Palestine. And over the last 10 years, I've learned a lot, but I'm not an expert. I moved to Texas in 2021, and I joined First U in Dallas, very, very big church with over 1,000 members, and started a chapter. And through that process, I learned that there was relatively lukewarm support for Palestine from UUA and many UU congregations. UU in the past, historically, has been reluctant to educate their members or take stronger positions over the years, and this is because UU is different than a lot of other churches in that we have Jewish members. And a lot of times, the answer that I would get is UU was afraid of offending their Jewish members and would not take a strong stand for Palestine. So what that caused is many UUs were kind of unaware of the suffering that was going on, and they even thought that churches shouldn't take a position on genocide. Now, these are some of the members and a lot of the ministers too. In our country, after World War II, there was a great sympathy for the Jews as they recovered from the horror of the Holocaust. Many movies were made in the 1950s that set a tone of sympathy for Israel. And one is a very old movie, you may not have seen it. It's called The Cast of the Giant Shadow with Kirk Douglas. And a lot of these movies were the main social media of that time. This is before internet, this is before any other kind. There were movies and news, basically. But it changed some after 2024, which was when the Action of Immediate Witness was passed at the 2024 General Assembly. And that, on the panel that Taha was on, and after that, there's been several more UUs that have taken the pledge. And the pledge basically asked congregations at that time to call for immediate ceasefire, hold teach-ins about Palestine and Israel that include spaces for spiritual processing. It's a hard subject. Organizing and advocating, engage in Palestinian-led groups. Sign and amplify and carry out the Apartheid-Free Pledge, and support protests, oppose legislation and policies that restrict First Amendment rights. And I brought some copies of and Taha put it up in the front. I want to continue a little bit more about how I became educated and make some suggestions for you. One of the first things I did, this is years and years ago, I took a class at the community college in Sacramento on the history of Palestine. I was very lucky. The professor was a very progressive man, and the book was written by Ian Pepe, which you may have heard of. He's written a lot of books. I would recommend, if you get a chance, that you read his books. He also does interviews on YouTube. He is an Israeli citizen and a Jew. He brings a straightforward message based on facts and from records. A lot of these records about what happened in 1948 were just released in the 1980s. And he goes through and he actually has quotes from some of the high-level generals and military people in the Israeli army. And it was well known back then that there was a move to move the Palestinians off the land. And I know those of you who have studied history of our own nation know that it was a settler colonizer. And we did the same as the Israelis. We took land from the indigenous people who lived here. We brought settlers in from Europe and gave them the land. My own ancestors, were given land in Missouri, that's where I'm from, after the Louisiana Purchase. We're on the other side of the Mississippi, And that's one of the things, when you move into land, you bring your own people in to control it, right? That's what it means when it says settler colonizer. And we made movies, and we called Native Americans savages. And we had a lot of things that, types and other things that people believed, And it's tragic how history can be sabotaged for others' personal gain. Perpetual myth is that the land was empty in Palestine, and that is not true. The Palestine was a land, a thriving country with people living together, both Jews and Muslims. And so you wonder, well, how did it happen, turn into the current situation? The answer is complicated, but it started with a Zionist political view that started in the 1800s in England. Theodore Herzl was the founder of the Zionist movement in 1897, and he and other Jewish men had the idea to create a Jewish country exclusively for Jews that practiced Judaism. And early in the movement of Jews to Palestine, the plan to remove Palestinians was put in place. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire and the British withdrawing from Middle East, a deal was struck to give some land to Zionists. The UN created a partition plan favoring the Israelis, and in 1948 waged a war to push 750,000 people off the land. And ever since then, the Palestinians who remain have lived in occupied territory and are under the thumb of the Israelis. A propaganda campaign was developed by the Jews to have their own land to protect them from anti-Semitism in Europe. And anti-Semitism does exist, and we should be aware of the prejudice against Jews that has existed for centuries. The problem is there were Palestinians already on the land. They owned the land. The United States was supportive of this move to create a state for Jews. As resistance grew in this ethnic cleansing by the Israelis, there was little media coverage for the Palestinians. This helped form a biased view. The U.S. painted most resistant to the occupation as terrorists. And we know the United States definition of terrorists is very broadly applied and can be a mechanism to squash dissent. I lived in San Francisco in 1969 as a young 20-year-old, and I saw the Black Panther activists on the streets passing out their newspaper with articles about discrimination by the police force. I saw demonstrators get harsh treatment of activists by the police force. Since I saw it with my own eyes, I believe there was truth to the Black Panthers articles. It was the same time that Kent State students were shot on campus and killed by police. Angela Davis, to this day, has advocated for Palestinian rights and sees the parallel between the oppression of Palestinians and African Americans. Resistance groups emerge from suppression. And even I understand, if you have your rights taken away from you for many years, the pressure can explode into violence. I think we need to look at the issue a little deeper and try to understand the circumstances that were in existence at the time of October 7th. Israel has a powerful military operation in part because of funding from the United States. It has received the highest foreign aid dollars for many years. The land of Palestine, the occupied territories, and the land that is now called Israel is very, very small. Only about 80 miles at its widest, 9 miles at its narrowest across, and 263 miles in length, about the size of New Jersey. Why did it reach such a large level of aid, $3.8 billion from the United States? There's always been strategic and political reasons why the U.S. has supported Israel. Some say it secures a spot militarily in the Middle East. Others explain the arms deals with Israel. Many of you know how powerful the U.S. is in foreign policy. The U.S. is still the richest country in the world, but it has over 800 military bases around the world. Many countries, most countries don't have any. It was large, and so you have to see that they profited from these wars. It was large corporations that manufacture war equipment. I believe there is a connection between the profit of arms sales and war. The sales of arms in the United States is lucrative. A recent article in the Chicago Policy Review found that Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop, Grumman, and Raytheon profit in war-related and said these firms, which make up most of the country's arms sales and profit, promote warfare by capitalizing on conflict. The U.S. accounts for more than 40% of the planet's weapon exports, yet the U.S. is only 4.2% of the world population. These firms have lobbyists, and over the last 20 years has spent over $2.5 billion on these efforts. They have a scheme that requires war for them to be profitable. It seems impossible for there to be peace in Palestine, but we have to reflect on the changes that have occurred for many of us in our own lifetime, such as the falling of the Berlin Wall, the dismantlement of the apartheid government in South Africa, and the Jim Crow laws being struck down. It's a constant battle to fight for justice, but we should never give up. Our role in UU is to take a stand and support an apartheid-free government in Israel to allow the Palestinians to live in peace. The two-state solution is in dispute now by many scholars, primarily because of the land grab by the illegal settlements that were built in occupied territories. The Palestinians have to agree on the new government and not have it imposed. I went to Palestine in 2023, and I saw for my own eyes what was happening to the Palestinians going through checkpoints, the big wall that separates everything. And many world organizations have already declared that Israel is an apartheid state. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and all previous UN special rapporteurs. The people are beautiful, with hope that the international community will support their efforts for freedom. We must pressure our elected officials, educate our congregations, and take bold stands at the congregation level. I want to thank you for taking the Apartheid-Free Pledge. Joining UUJME, it's important to educate the congregation with the facts and listen to alternative media. Maybe you could listen to Democracy Now! And Al Jazeera. Groups within UU have taken the Apartheid-Free Pledge already, Blue and Drum. We are all working to get more churches to take the pledge. Over 1,300 organizations have taken the pledge, and you can look at these organizations on the apartheidfree.org website. We live in a time of change, with countries emerging to take on military might of the United States. The future question, can the USA become a country of less military spending and more spending for people? I just have one small quote from Francisca Albanese, who was the UN rapporteur for Palestine. Well, she still is. It is true that resistance can be violent, and civilians must always be protected from violence. I am here to justify any crimes that the Palestinians may have committed against Israeli civilians in the long course of their oppression. But I am reminded of a reflection by Bertolt Brecht that I find extremely as well as in other situations of systemic and protracted oppression. The rushing river they call violent, but the riverbed pressing it in, nobody calls violent. The time has come to solve violence by getting at its roots, removing the causes that trigger it, which is in the occupied Palestinian territory are essential, the oppression and apartheid of the colonial project. Thank you.
That's right, we are going to sing. We are going to sing This Is My Song. The words will be on the screen, hopefully all the right words this time. So first of all, thank you so much, Cathy. We really appreciate your message and appreciate you being here. And I chose this last song because, it's the 250th birthday of the country this weekend, and we're all kind of wondering where that's going some days, but also I think that, to me, this song gives us hope that we can continue to try to grow into those lofty ideals that we've never quite achieved, but that we can keep working on, and that we can be mindful that we are one citizen of a big world. So if you'll rise in body or spirit, let's sing.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my song, my country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. But hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
We close with the words of Shukri Abu Bakr. Many of you will remember that he is a political prisoner, one of the Holy Land Five that's imprisoned in the federal penitentiary in Beaumont. And we've had his daughter, Nita, speak to us a couple of times here. To remain silent. Not everyone has the right to remain silent. Break the felonious silence. Break the felonious word. Tell the darkest stories. How else will the past come to light? Unpack dirty secrets. Come clean. Brighten tomorrow's face. Speak the ugliest truth. How else will timid eyes dilate to the beauty of a full, unveiled moon? How else will children learn that beautiful souls are not disposable toys, or that beauty is sacred, or that big tyrants die small? Amen. Blessed be. Please stay and talk with our guests if you would like to, and have some snacks. And we thank you all for being here. Amen and blessed be.
القدس وعكا نحن إلى يافا، في غزة نحن وقلب جنين. الواحد منا يزهر آلافا، لن تذبل فينا ورقة تين. ما هان الحق عليك ولا خاف، عودتنا إيمان ويقين. لن نسكت لن نستسلم، لا 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 لا, لا نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو رح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. لن نسكت لن نستسلم، لا 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 لا, لا نفديك لنحيا يا فلسطين. فلسطين بلادي نحملها جرحا أو أملا، لا 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 لو رح نبقى فيها اليوم الدين. فلسطين بلادي. فلسطين بلادي. كي تشرق شمسك فوق أمانينا، وينام صغارك مبتسمين، ونراك بخير حين تنادينا لعمار بيوت وبساتين. سنعيدك وطنا رغم مآسينا، أحرارا نشدو متحدين. لن نسكت لن نستسلم، لا 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 لا, لا نفديك لنحيا